Welcome to Mrs. Dill's YouTube video math lesson on function machines, also known as function boxes, think boxes, and in and out rule boxes. To get my students ready for this lesson, I created a fun function machine out of an old shoebox. I've selected the lowest and the highest numbers from my set of index cards. The 1, 2, 15, and 16 are kept out of the set of index cards for use by the teacher. Then inside the function box, I've stacked the remaining cards, numbers 3 through 14, at the bottom of the function machine. I asked for a volunteer from the class to come up and choose a card. Remember, I've held out the 1, 2, 15, and 16. I start by holding up 2 cards only, just the 1 and the 2 card. Let's say that the student chose the card that's marked 2. I ask them to place the card in the function box. The card drops inside the function box, and I ask the student then to draw a card from the bottom of the function box. The student then draws a card from the bottom of the function box. In this case, the number 14. Remember, the card that was inserted in the top of the function box was a 2. The card that was drawn out of the bottom of the function box was a 14. Now I ask the students if they can figure out what happened inside the box. Was it an addition function that happened, or something else? In this case, most of the students will begin to guess what happened. The idea is to get the kids to the correct answer of plus 12. The second time the students draw another card, let's say that the students drew the number 16 and placed that card in the top of the function box. They would then draw a card out of the bottom, in this case the number 5. I ask the students again, remember the number 16 went into the function machine, but the number 5 came out. What happened inside the box? Several children will offer answers again, and the idea is to get them to minus 11. I've enlarged an example of the function machine from the students' math lesson. On this side, you'll see a picture that represents the function machine, and on this side, you'll see the graph that accompanies that. Imagine that a number goes in the top and something happens inside the machine. We call that a rule, and then a new number comes out. For example, you would see the number 3 go in and a 7 would come out, or a 4 would go in and an 8 would come out, and so on. The students would need to look at the entire graph in order to decide what the rule is. The idea is to get them to the correct answer of plus 4. The students must double check to make sure that the rule applies to every entry in the in and out graph. This is another example of the same worksheet, but with a different set of numbers filled into the graph. For example, there's a 14 as the in number and a 12 as the out number. The second entry is a 16 as the in number and a 14 as the out entry, and so on. The idea is to get the students to the correct answer of minus 2. Again, the -2 has to apply to all entries in the graph, all the way down to the last one, which is a 2 going in and a 0 coming out. Finally, the students will begin to see an example of a function machine that has a rule filled in, but the numbers in the graph are staggered. Sometimes the in number will be filled in, and sometimes the out number will be filled in. So the students will take the in number, apply the rule, and write the out number in the graph. The student should take the in number 1 plus 3, and the out number would be a 4. The same thing with the 2 plus 3, and the out number would be a 5. 6 plus 3, and the out number would be a 9. Now the students have to challenge themselves. What number would have been going in, then plus 3, and coming out an 11? You're trying to get to the correct answer of 8. And then finally, we're back to the in number of 10 plus 3, and that should come out as a 13. Thanks for watching Mrs. Dill's YouTube video math lesson on function machines. Remember, keep the fun in functions.